All right. Hello. And hello, Alexander. Hello, Alexander. You might still be getting food or might not, I'm not sure. Anyway, hello everybody. If you have not already watched my newest video essay, do it. Otherwise, welcome. Let's continue our adventure here. Hello, Alex. Alex and Alexander, together again. All right. So, as far as this goes, as far as Dread Delusion goes, last time we finished up things in the Clockwork Kingdom, and now we are going to the Endless Realm, where people are undead, but they're ethically undead, apparently. They don't eat living people anymore, so that should be nice of them. Next new vid was great. Thank you very much, Alex. I'm glad you enjoyed. Definitely in that phase of every video that I make where it's like, you know, I'm with it for so long, I'm like, this sucks. This is the worst thing I've ever made. You know, I had that feeling with most of my videos by the time I finally put it out, and then after a little bit, I'm like, this rules actually, which I feel like I'm probably not going to like, you know, in like a month or so, I'm probably not going to like the Divinity video more than the Deus Ex video or the Veilguard video, but I definitely did have that feeling with both of those other long ones. Also, I was thinking about, it's funny how the three longest videos on my channel, Deus Ex, Veilguard, and Divinity Original Sin 2, the length of the videos are inversely proportional to the length of the games. I just had more to say about the 20 to 25 hour Deus Ex than I did about the 100+ hour Divinity. I mostly know Original Sin 1 and Dragon Commander, so it's mostly new info to me. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, even with that being the case, with that being mostly new info for you, Alex. I think my main experience with Dragon Commander, I remember there being a small bit about it. I think Jesse Cox describing it on the Co-Optional podcast way back when. I think that's my main sort of frame of reference for what Dragon Commander is like. Just got through reading that super long commentary, comment giving extra knowledge. Oh yeah, I don't remember the username of the person who commented that. Yeah, I should pin that probably, because that is a really good comment with extra, like, behind-the-scenes details. I decided not to do too much, like, direct research for that, for behind-the-scenes stuff, just because I wanted to present, like, this is, you know, how the game feels as a finished product. But there's pros and cons to doing that approach. I'll leave you be, Goblin, actually. Alright, what do we... Let's bump Wisdom up. Can I can. Nice. Now I can shoot magic missile, basically. Anyway, I am now at a bit of a loss for what my next big project is going to be. But I'll figure something out. I don't want it to be on something too long, because I know people have been talking about Wrath of the Righteous, and I have some ideas for that, as I've said in the past, but that's another extremely long game, and yeah. Does it track? Sorry, does what track? I lost what that's referencing, Alex. Greetings. This here bridge leads to the Kingdom of the Endless. Nasty place full of shuffling corpses it is. The bridge is closed unless you're the bearer of a genuine apostatic union passport, so if you've not got one, get lost. I've got one. Oh, the magic missile spell? No, it does not. It is not tracking, so... So I guess, yeah, it's not really magic missile, at least as it works in like, 5e. I've got a passport right here. See, looks good. I'm not seeing any signs of magical forgery. Yep, looks like you can pass. Now, the, spell looks like this. Yeah. Yeah! Happy Halloween! Oh. Earthquake. Yeah, it's actually fitting that we go here in August, which is apparently when Halloween season starts. Which, I mean, I'm happy with that. I don't mind Halloween season being, I don't mind Halloween season encroaching earlier and earlier. Hello, Knight. It's been, I think this is the first time you've made it to one of the Wednesday streams just because of the time zone discrepancy, the unfortunate time zone discrepancy between us. Well, the Obsidian Shill made a Larian hate video. How do you feel? I feel like I don't want to completely reuse my joke in the comments section, but yeah, I feel like being I feel like making a nuanced video and having it called a hate video is real internet, real prime internet. But yeah, no, thank you. The woman who approaches you is half rotted. One eye is milk white and the other is missing. The pearly white of her jawbone is visible through ragged skin. Careful there, breather. That was a big one. You hurt? What was that? Little tremor, that's all. They've been getting more common recently. I don't want to do it. I feel like I was about to do a zombie voice for her, but I don't want to kill my throat by doing that. You should watch your step, though. That quake will have riled up the catacomb worms something fierce. Catacomb worms? Nasty buggers. They burrow, they fly, they eat people. Just stay away from them, that's my advice. Anyway, you're clearly new here, and I've got some time to kill. Is there anything you want to know? Who are you? My name is Chiasma. I'm just out here waiting to be granted admission to one of the mausoleums. What are the mausoleums? See those big imposing tombs in the distance? Most of the Endless live in those mausoleums these days. They're waiting for the ferryman to come and take them away. Why aren't you in a mausoleum? They're overcrowded and the best tombs go to the highest bidder, so poor broke saps like me have to wait until a place becomes available, usually after a worm attack. You appear to be a bit worse for wear. I'm sure you've heard stories about the Endless, Breather. Immortality comes at a price. Yeah, Breather is what they call non-undead people. Okay, I think I get it. Sure, Breather. You want to ask anything else? See you later, Chiasma. Hi, Nick. Did I miss the part where Echo sheepishly admits he was paid to put out a hit piece on Lariat? Paid by whom, exactly? Who would do such a thing? Can you smell it, stranger? That rancid stench on the wind? The Endless Realm is trapped in a perpetual decay, for everything here rots but nothing ever dies. There's a really good video, genuinely good take on DOS 2 that I haven't seen. Most just talk about the game and say game good, not really why beyond stuff like reactivity. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is because Divinity Original Sin 2 really is an excellent game as a game. And my video was more about how I just don't like the story, because I just don't. Or at least, I mean, again, I like it more than I did. Are the Outer World games too long to a post-mortem on them? The series seems to have been laid to rest. Discuss them in the context of Obsidian working on new Fallout. That is an idea. I haven't played the second game, though, so I have to do that first. So, yeah, I don't know when that'll... I paid Echoes to make the hate video #1 Larian hater here. Yeah, that's what the the stream donations have really gone to, Knight. Yeah, breather is a great term for normies from zombies. Yeah, I like it. Can you smell it straight? I already read this. And those trapped in perpetual decay, for everything here rots, but nothing ever dies. Its people huddle in underground tomb cities, sealing their frail bodies from the outside while they indulge in nostalgic reverie. They have achieved what many mortals lust for, a life unending. But is such a wretched existence preferable to death? Tell me, stranger, if those Union scholars are right, and there is naught after life but a dreamless sleep. Does that nothingness negate what came before? Is our existence rendered pointless by impending oblivion? Well, I do appreciate with this ghost we always get the cop-out answer. Well, brevity is beautiful, eternal life would be torture. She nods. I say to a ghost, eternal life would be torture. Many of the endless would share your sentiment after being prisoners of their bodies for so long. It is said that even those endless who are cut to pieces are still conscious. I have no doubt that after enough time we'd all beg for nothingness. Thought it was a really great video. Thank you, Nick. It makes me genuinely sad to see games that seem to have anarchist-leaning themes and then just completely fumble the execution. Yeah, I mean, as I said at the end, I wonder how intentional that really was. But yeah, it is tricky. I think it is tricky to do that. But it just does seem to happen a lot. It's kind of how the undead had it in Dragon Commander, except there was stuffy fundamentalists about it. There's some fundamentalism about it here. We haven't learned all about their sort of religion, but yeah. Yes, I encoded the donuts to say hate Lair and call them bad, though he didn't do the additional requirement of saying and say BioWare is better. Too much of an obsidian shill for that. Yeah, my obsidian shillness counteracted the subliminal messaging, so it didn't work on me, Knight. I think a video about Outer Worlds needs to talk about how Tim Kaine didn't want to just make Fallout again and wanted to try something new with Fallout as a base, and that's very respectable. Yeah, I mean, if I were to do that, then that would definitely be, you know, that is a respectable goal, and to some extent, I think that he was. Oh right, yeah. So there's a pickaxe you can get in this game that lets you infinitely mine like ghost ore, basically, and I think you can get it in the Endless Realm. Anyway, yeah, no, I do think to some extent that degree of, you know, wanting to not just repeat Fallout ended up not working out for the Outer Worlds just in terms of what people wanted it to be. And also the Outer Worlds just wasn't it just didn't have the juice comparatively. But I do think that it got sort of overhated in the sense that, like, when Outer Worlds came out, like a bunch of critics were like, this is like a 10 out of 10 game. And then people were like, actually maybe not, and now it's like, Outer Worlds is bad actually. And I think that's an overcorrection, which that sort of overcorrection happens all the time, so I'm not surprised. It's either like, oh, this thing that people said was really good is actually bad, and now it's just bad, or like the Star Wars prequels, this thing people said was bad is actually a masterpiece, and that's an overcorrection as well. Though it is better than giving death threats to Jake Lloyd. Now we just have to move on from death threats to Kelly Marie Tran. Marketing kind of shot them in the foot for that. That is true, and that's the same thing that is true, Alex. And the same thing, I mean, it's not the same thing because there isn't like the same degree of like actual bad blood and drama, but it kind of reminds me of how the marketing for Zero Parades, tying it in with Disco Elysium, kind of shot it in the foot. It's like extra baggage for Zero Parades just because of what, you know, the executives of Zom did, but still, like, generally the idea of, like, oh, this you know, this work is the successor to this other work. You know, that's a similarity between marketing screwing over Zero Parades and Outer Worlds. Even though, as I said, the other surrounding context is very different. It's also weird how so many people just don't know what Tim Kaine wants as a person. He never wants to make sequels because he wants to make new game IPs because he thinks it's more interesting. Unfathomably based. Oh, there's another earthquake. Sure, that's nothing. Thing of starting the Emma Goldman consulting firm where my only job will be yelling at games writers about how they don't understand anarchist theory. I would support you in that, Nick. Which I can see, but I think sequels can be creative, but Tim Kaine creatively should be respecting what he wants. But no, Tim Kaine, Josh Sawyer, and every other Fallout dev should make Fallout Forever. Yeah, I mean, they're... Again, it's... You know, I agree with that. Sequels can be good. Some sequels are very good. New Vegas is a sequel. Also weird how Tim Kaine, an objectively cool and smart guy, said there aren't any anti-capitalist themes in Fallout 1 or 2. Like, oh, are you sure, buddy? I thought that... admittedly, it's been a while. I thought that statement was not there aren't any as much as we weren't thinking of that being the main theme. And that, like, saying it's about capitalism is an oversimplification. But that, I didn't think that he had said it's like that there aren't any themes, like anti-capitalist themes, just that wasn't what they were, like, intending to be the focus. And that I can see. Then Echo will hate me for this because I like sequels. Again, you paint me as an absolutist, and only Sith deal in absolutes, Knight. I think played the first two Fallouts. Tim Kaine isn't really wrong about that. I mean, I think my impression, which might be wrong, Alex, you will be more of an expert, or you'll have better grounding for this than I. My impression is that it's, like, not strictly speaking, like, you know, about capitalism, but it is so steeped in Americana that the capitalist satire just comes inevitably. Exactly, Tim Kaine said he didn't mean it, and so interpreting them as that is weird to him, which is fine. Again, I think saying it's weird might be a stretch on his part, but because like I think the themes are so obviously there, just as a result of 50s Americana. But anyway. Platooey, how can we simplify the world without absolutes? Well, you can, it's a challenge. Also, welcome, Platooey. I would agree with it not being the theme, but the start of the story is literally the resource and oil wars of the post-World War II era led to nuclear war. That is definitely a commentary on capitalism. I do think, yeah, it's the sort of thing where, like, I can see it being like, oh, that's not strictly speaking capitalism because, like, pre-capitalist societies and post-capitalist societies also do have to, like, worry about resources, you know? But beyond that, like, yeah, I think to be baffled by that interpretation is strange, but to, again, makes sense to not have that be the intent. The Jedi want less people falling to the dark side. They should have more cool armor. Well, I think Obi-Wan's Clone Wars armor is cool. So, but yeah, no, the Sith do have much cooler armor typically. It's more like MCU Thanos than anti-capitalist. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, in not being concerned about resource scarcity is not, or having issues about resource scarcity is not the exclusive purview of capitalism. We got a zombie here and a ghost. Ah, the rotten coffin, my favorite haunt. The ghost looks quite pleased with itself. You dare not think how many times it has told that joke. I never entered a mausoleum. Back when I was breathing so long ago, I knew I could never leave these trees. The air smelled so... Well, I can't recall how the air smelled anymore, but it must have been good. So I dawdled and the mausoleums filled up. And the thing about being an endless sea is that the pain dulls everything. Anhedonia sets in, pleasure seeps away, and these old trees only mock me now. Now, Bethesda did add a lot of anti-corporate stuff in Fallout 3, like greed didn't become a major theme until 3. That's probably fair. I need to play the first 2 Fallouts. That's still a blind spot on my part. The Jedi have one guy, the Sith have so many others. Revan was a Jedi, but now they're a dark side person. The Jedi have one guy, meaning Obi-Wan. I mean, plenty of Jedi in the Clone Wars had cool armor. Also, Revan isn't just dark side. I don't know. The Endless stands askew, slowly cleaning a mug with a rotten rag. He spits on the rag, apparently in an attempt at cleanliness, but a piece of his lip comes off in the attempt. As I live and rot, and honest to God's breather. We don't get many of you passing through the sepulchre these days. Welcome to the rotten coffin. We've got a bed to rent, the only genuine mattress, and all the tombs of the Endless. We also got ghost booze. I'm looking for the Duchess. Do you know her? The Duchess? That's Vela Kolos's crew member we have to find in this area. She's hard to pin down, that one. Few folk have even seen her since she came back from gallivanting around with pirates and mercenaries a few years back. Rumor has it she's holed up in her old family manor that sits on the southern edge of the Endless Realm. But good luck arranging a visit. She's a powerful cipher wizard and has a whole host of magical countermeasures to stop common plebs like us from wandering around her grounds. I'll be going. Ah, Breather, welcome to the Moldy Cauldron. You're my first living customer in months. Or has it been years? Time flies when you're my age. I'm looking for the Duchess. Ah, yes, everyone's heard of the Duchess, only I don't think anyone's seen her in years. Last I heard, she was flying around with that crazy bunch of breathers. What were they called? The dull stars? The dim lights? Dark stars. Anyway, her family manor is to the south. If you're looking for her, I'd say head there, but I hear the place is crawling with magical skeletons, so be careful. Let me see what you have for sale. Ah, yes. This is very good. Another gnome hat. This time, the gnome hat is for, lore, for magic skills instead of for speech. But yeah, Tim Kaine is a very cool man. The different IPs he wants to work on is very cool and should be made. I agree, as a baseman, the industry would be better with him just making those IP. The industry would be better if people could just make their own IP, and also better if people paid attention to that IP and supported it. Unfortunately, to some extent, it is on the consumers for not branching out, but it's two sides here, because I think, you know, the big companies don't want to market things that are original. I get that Resource War is vague enough to be an MCU movie, but it's explicitly the resource war between the US and China to feed American consumers, and that's an explicit part of the text. Alex and Nick, I'll let you guys argue that out. Even then, Revan isn't a Jedi, and also if you do turn Darkseid, you get your old armor. Confirm that Darkseid gives you cool armor. Let me tell you, not all Darkseid armor is cool. There's some pretty silly-looking armor in SWTOR for Sith. I must say, lordship can be quite a curse. I own the deed to the mines in the southwest. Between you and I, it's worth a fortune, but a few months ago it simply ceased to produce, as if out of thin air. I've no interest in your bourgeois concerns. Alright. Every day that my mines aren't operating, I'm losing gold. What a mess. Tell me more about the mines. Ah, forgive me. I am Romulus Chiron VII, lord and heir to the southwestern tract. The lands I own are rich in resources, the finest in the world. I employ merchants who sell them for me. Even the crown buys my ores. My mines are to the southwest. The ores are a valuable export. Fine ore stones fetch a devilish price in the Clockwork Kingdom. I've likely owned my mine since before you were born, though I don't involve myself in much in its goings-ons. There are people beneath me who are handling those trivialities on site. Breather, perhaps you could look into it for me. For a fee, of course. He scowls. I'm afraid 20 gold is all I'll offer. I'm rather tight at the moment. Fucking cheapskate, wow. The mines are on the southwestern edge of the region. The elevator is likely out of operation, but you can make your way down by a series of bridges. Return when you've solved this fiasco, and I'll produce a suitable reward. You have my word, Breather. I must be off. Silly, but Jedi is variations of robe and OK armor with a few good armors. In SWTOR, you mean? Yeah. I think I've said this before in another stream. The fact that SWTOR armors use, like... The fact that SWTOR armors have, like, short sleeves for long coats and robes is so baffling. And this is for both Jedi and Sith, for the record. It just looks terrible. Alright, don't have enough Emberian ore for that. Alright, new gnome hat, new gnome hat. Ah, don't have enough of that. Okay. Hello there. Aha, a mortal traveler. Unusual to see one of your kind within the realm of the Endless. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Castle of Ribs. Pray tell, my friend, what brings you to our kingdom? Insatiable curiosity, I want to learn how to cheat death. Interesting that I can't just say I'm looking for someone specifically, but I can't ask him about the Duchess, at least not yet. Insatiable curiosity. Aha, I'm familiar with that drive to discover, that raw, unbidden need to know what lies beyond the horizon. I traveled a little in my own youth, you know. Some many hundreds of years ago, when I had a beating heart, the Sky Realms were very different then, let me tell you. How were they different? Well, this was only a century after the world rend. Everything was in a state of flux. Every day, new kingdoms were blossoming and dying like winter roses. Tell me about the wonders. Why, of course. Have you ever seen a god? I saw one once, drifting through the fog, as vast as a mountain, dozens of eyes, each as bright and round as the moon. When I saw it, I opened my mouth and the most beautiful hymn spilled out. I can't sing under normal circumstances, but my voice was like honey and thunder that day. Tell me about the horrors. I would rather not recall such things, but I saw an entire town consumed in silver flames while laughing priests circled above like vultures. I saw a conscriptor harvester pulling screaming men into its maw and turning them into mindless engines of war. I saw a library whale pulled slowly apart by iron hooks and butcher archivists scrambling through its guts for forgotten tomes. I love just weird bullshit like the library whale. Do you remember what caused the world rend? I never knew what caused it, but I remember the searing flash that stained the sky. I remember the impact which shook our tombs and scattered the islands. Back then, the Endless were one of the few peoples in the Sky Realms. It got a lot more crowded after that with all the refugees. Fascinating, but I wanted to ask something else. I seek an audience with the Queen of Silver. Alas, the Queen isn't accepting visitors at this time, or at any time, really. She is withdrawn. Most days she will speak to me, and me alone. Perhaps I can put her in a better mood. I doubt it, but I suppose I have nothing to lose by letting you try. Go ahead. If you can raise her out of her depression, I will be, without exaggeration, eternally grateful. The Seneschal stands aside, allowing you passage deeper into the Castle of Ribs. Anyways, I did want to mention that one in Dragon Commander, the elves were just stock elves and not as seen in DOS 2, so some inconsistency there. Yeah, again, as my understanding is Divinity lore is just not... They just do whatever, and then let the wikis try to sort it out. Or, the lizard people are also democratic-leaning liberals. You mean in Divinity Dragon Commander, Alex? Because that is interesting that they're like a democracy in Dragon Commander, but they're an autocratic empire in Original Sin 2. I do find it weird Chris Avalon made a lore Bible and fans take that more seriously than what Tim Kaine says. Like, I don't think Chris worked on Fallout 1. No, Avalon did not work on Fallout 1. I will say, though, that, like, if that stuff wasn't set in stone, it makes sense that, like, someone would take it upon themselves to do it. And I think even Tim Kaine would agree, like, he does not have final say on Fallout generally. Avalon was mostly Fallout 2. The issue is that Fallout 2 had a lot of inconsistent lore and quote-unquote nonsense. The Fallout Bible was an attempt to clean house on what was real. Yeah, well then, yeah, it makes sense that you'd have to do that. The Queen of Silver. As the Queen casts her gaze upon you, you are overcome with a wave of melancholy so profound it almost drives you to your knees. Oh, hello. I'm afraid I am not receiving visitors at the moment. Please talk to my seneschal. He will attend to you faithfully. What seems to be the matter, your majesty? Ragged lips peel back from long yellow teeth. She seems to be attempting a smile. You are a curious one, aren't you? But I can assure you there is nothing out of the ordinary. Put quite simply, I am feeling the same as I did yesterday, and the same as I will tomorrow. 200 years ago, you would have found me in this same castle, in this same seat, feeling the same as I do now. Oh, how tragic. You have to live in a giant, luxurious castle surrounded by generational wealth. I actually don't know if that's true. Generational wealth implies new generations, and I'm pretty sure that she's been alive the whole time. Sounds boring. I left boredom behind a long time ago. I exist now in tranquility and have no desire for your pity. Sounds like you don't exactly have a busy schedule. This is true, yet my time is my own, even if it has little value, so I ask you not to waste it. Larian really hoping their fans like Star Wars fans and just explain the inconsistencies away. Yeah, Star Wars really... I love Star Wars. I always will. Star Wars has some of the worst lore in the world because the lore building from Star Wars is a bunch of fans looking at one alien and being like, that's the entire species, or like Han Solo is from Corellia and like him saying never tell me the odds means, oh, Corellians hate odds and statistics because Han Solo said it once. Like, yeah. Oh, definitely Chris is fine doing that, but there are some fans who think Chris's word is more important. Yeah, Avalon has no more say over the Fallout setting than anyone else. You know, like working on that Bible to keep things consistent, sure, but other writers can change things. I mean, change for things is inevitable in a long-running series, which is why you should watch my video about canon if you haven't already. Anyway. Okay, so, sorry, Dragon Commander, Alex. Dragon Commander races are lizards, democratic liberals, elves, hippie elves, undead religious fundamentalists, dwarves, conservative capitalists. Interesting. And the imps just love Tekken lore. Well, the imps... Oh, Tekken War. The imps loving Tekken War is consistent with that actually is consistent with Original Sin 2, because the one imp that we talk to, who's the god of the imps, is like in a clockwork dimension. They don't need to waste money on things humans would. No, they don't, Alexander. What do you know about the Entombed? Did I skip over people mentioning the Entombed One? What do you know about the Entombed One? I believe it is my father. After the ritual to grant him immortality went wrong, he fled beneath the castle and got lost within the twisting passages. Are you sure it's him? I know it in my bones. Yeah, so the Entombed One is the one causing the earthquakes. I don't remember... Genuinely, I do not remember if we've got that exposition already, or if the game is assuming that we know it, and we should have talked to someone else. Shouldn't you do something? Do what? Send guards down there? I have done so. They do not return. Go down there myself? Never. I cannot bear to see him again. Are you sure it's him? I know it... Oh, no, I already asked that. What if I went down there and tried to stop him from shaking the island apart? You are welcome to try. I believe my seneschal has the key, but I don't expect you to understand. Or don't expect you to succeed. Some of my questions are of a more personal nature. If you must. Tell me about your father. My earliest memory is of him sitting atop his throne, looking so grim while I sung for him. Then, as I hit a particular high note, his dour face broke into such a broad smile. It was like magic, like the sun had risen over a cemetery. In those days I would kneel beside my bed and pray to a goddess whose name I have now forgotten, that my father would never die. I was too young to know that gods pay no attention to the prayers of their people. When was the last time you interacted with a mortal? Let me see. Some years ago, I forget how many, a mortal came to the Castle of Ribs seeking to become endless himself. The seneschal was not able to dissuade her. She barged into the throne room, much like you have. I think that's a typo there, saying himself, if this is a woman. Unless the Clockwork King accepted her request to transition, unlike Afra. I turned her away as I turn all such pilgrims away. We will add no more to our number. Thaw must be the last. Do you have heirs? No need for heirs. I will be here forever, and the Endless cannot have children. Again, my point about generational wealth. She does have a father, though, so that's probably what it's referencing. I think there is something to Star Wars fans doing that because they really love the setting, but they should recognize the difference between intentionality and not. I mean, I think it's just a matter of, like, people building lore need to remember that people are not a monolith, and Star Wars has the most monolithic world building, or some of the most monolithic world building in popular fiction. My weird Larian take is that I want them to make a sequel to Dragon Commander that is actually good. That is more like strategy, isn't it? Like, I do appreciate that, you know, that idea of Larian exploring different genres with the franchise. Your canon video does make a lot of sense, though I do wish there was another attempt at a long, sprawling video game series that is consistent, because there is something to being on a long journey. Well, yeah, I mean, and my canon video is not against the idea of long-running series. It's just saying, like, if there's going to be a long-running series, it better have a consistent artistic vision behind it, and when that vision changes, you know, then issues can happen. And the longer something goes on, the more those issues are inevitable and pile up. But yeah, I definitely am not opposed to long-running series in and of themselves. Clone Wars did some work on doing that fault. That is true. It did add some stuff. And also, even at the beginning, like, Timothy Zahn writing the Bothans is, like, kind of extrapolating from that, but it does it better than, like, the example I gave about the Corellia odds, like, cultural being against odds thing. Goodbye, Your Majesty. Oh, right, I should talk to the Seneschal to get the key. Hail and well met, my mortal friend. How may I be of assistance today? Do you have any theories about the Entombed One? Ah, yes, have you experienced one of the recent earthquakes? A terrible business. I have reason to believe that the Entombed One is the lingering specter of the Hooded King, getting his revenge on the kingdom that left him for dead. Someone needs to find him and persuade him to abandon his vendetta, by force if necessary. I can try. You would do that? I would be in your debt. Here, take this. It's a key to the crypt beneath the castle. The Entombed One is somewhere down there. The store's RPG was not healthy for the setting. It was old school D&D about things, and that never ages. Well, I can imagine what that means. Yeah, I mean, I know that is where, like, Timothy Zahn, for example, got a lot of, like, he used that as a lore text for things that are for things that hadn't been established already elsewhere. So he did find use for that, but yeah. Maybe I should. I do have enough money to buy the house over there. Let's do it. Let's buy another house. I am the proud owner of 3 houses now. And then, and then Fantasy Momdani is going to come around and tax me for it. And then I'm going to get upset for dumb reasons. Wait. Oh no, he doesn't have it. Who has the... In days past, I fought with Lord Ritter in the Cadaver Crusades. We would feast on the flesh of mortals such as yourself. Nothing personal, you understand. But such days of glory are over. Now I must eat the mindless slop penitent Thaw brings up in those flesh farms of hers. Oh, so you're not even a shopkeep. Okay. Guess I gotta talk to, this guy. I think, right? Ah, my favorite customer. Well, you're also my only customer, but debtors can't be choosers, eh? Let me see, you have for sale. Yes, here we go. Alright. I can definitely understand that. I'm pretty sure the RPG created the Corellian example. Also, Greedos species were cowardly jerks. Oh yeah, like Rhodians are like inherently like cowardly or whatever. Yeah, that sucks. I can definitely understand that. A series ending not on its own terms is one of the worst ways to end something. Dragon Age as an example. As much as I like Dragon Age Valgrind, I didn't want it to be what it became, or it didn't want to be what it became. I mean, as I said in my video, I am just grateful that Veilguard concluded Solas's arc in a way that I felt was still like really good. So, like as far as like the biggest concluding thing, I am satisfied with the series leaving, like ending there. Even though obviously there are dangling plot threads. I think Dragon Age might be able to make a comeback. Well, Alex, not with EA the way that it's been, the way that it has been, and the way it shall continue to be. Especially as a subsidiary of what's his name? The Saudi Arabian Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman. Don't quote me on that. Wasn't Veilguard meant to be an MMO at some point in development? Not an MMO, but but like a hero shooter, or not shooter, but like, you know, like a hero, like I guess that is MMO. When I think MMO, I think MMORPG, but I guess MMO doesn't have to be an RPG, right? I mean, that's what old D&D style RPGs were about, recreating specifics from other works. People want to play Han Solo and shoot Greedo, so the game is built to remake that situation. Yeah, I mean, fair for that. So I guess really the issue is about being overly sort of adherent to that as the lore. Oh yeah, okay, I remember. Okay, cool. So that this portal takes us back to Hallowshire. I guess Celestial's Arc is just really good. I am happy with that. It's not exactly what it should have been, but it is better than what it could have been considering the development. Yeah, it's actually one of my really good friends is a huge Solus fan and Solus romancer. And she didn't like it, actually. But so not for everyone, but worked for me. Also, PIF has some Trump connections, so get ready for them to say queers don't exist in Dragon Age for some reason. Is PIF the name of the Saudi investment company or something? I mean, they don't need connections to Trump for that, because they're not an especially progressive regime anyway. But yeah, I mean, I guess... Never mind. I was gonna go into what I know about Saudi politics, but I don't know that much, so I'll just make a fool of myself if I just start trying to... if I start trying to make any actually declarative statements there. When I say it might make a comeback, I'm speaking in manners of decades. Well, that's more likely and also a bit depressing, but, yeah, I can see that. I don't know. I think... I feel like at that point, if you're bringing Dragon Age back after that amount of time... I don't know. Hi. Not friendly. Alright. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's this guy. ESPF is the name for the fund? Okay. I mean, I do feel like, you know, if you're talking about Dragon Age making a comeback in a matter of decades, to some extent I almost feel like there should just be a spiritual successor rather than bringing Dragon Age itself back, but... I don't know. Who knows? I guess I don't care enough about whatever the sequel tease at the end of Veilguard was supposed to be, but... ultimately, I think Dragon Age has some name recognition / staying power nostalgia, not a lot of other big fantasy worlds, that's true. Alright, hello, vampire door. The door smiles but extends its fangs. Only those loyal to the king may pass. Allowed to drink from your wrist. The door sinks its fangs into your wrist. It drinks and drinks and drinks until your legs feel weak and your arm is numb. Finally, it releases you. Your blood is tainted by treachery. You may not pass. Well, Guess we're not doing that yet. Let's go there and unlock that. Trying to remember. Hi there, don't hurt me. I don't know if those guys are hostile or not. Those guys were armored, so maybe they're not. The thing about the Endless Realm is that there are some undead who are just hostile, and there are some who are friendly. Sort of... I think sort of like a Fallout Ghoul situation. Or maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe the undead themselves aren't hostile, but it's those monsters that are. You know what? Talking about spiritual successors versus coming back decades later, Dragon Age was already a spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate instead of making a Baldur's Gate 3. And then decades later, Larian made Baldur's Gate 3, so really what I'm saying is that probably have Larian do Dragon Age 5. And then Knight will have a conniption fit. Okay, I should have gone up there. Because spiritual success would have to be some closely related game because of its setting, otherwise it wouldn't feel like a spiritual successor to me, at least. That's fair. Ah, here we are. I've found almost all of the fast travel. Yep. I've all the fast travel for this quest. I think there's one more that is optional. Hi there. Natalia looks preoccupied with a complex crystal gadget. Welcome back. Let's keep this group brief. I've got plenty to do. I activated those portals for you. You did? Excellent work. And I'm guessing you're still in one piece? No severed limbs or appendages? Wow, what are the chances that these old hunk of junks would actually work? I mean, of course they worked. I can't thank you enough for finding them. Here, take this. It's the least I can do. And it's the Glimmer of Delusion. There actually are some quests in this academy that we could do, but I'll save those for a little bit later. Think on it, maybe Divinity making all the money. If Elder Scrolls 6 makes all the money, then I could see Dragon Age getting wheeled out as a contender on the basis of what do we have in a fantasy RPG, or Divinity doing it. Alex, yeah, that is true. I resent you for saying that. I will send some kind of attack on you, Mr. Echo Dumb. I await the attack. I'm building up my defenses. I'm turtling like I do when I play any strategy game. Alright, all the bridges to the city are now unlocked, so that's good. Nice. Alright. Like the ways Dragon Age is a spiritual successor to BG1, and 2 is the origin, having defined character, having a game with a very defined setting, and being a real-time with a pause game. I mean, RPGs typically do have very defined settings, unless it's Rivellon. It's really sad that no Dragon Age game did the Origins again. That's one of the best parts of the first game. It is, yeah, I mean, They did less versions, sort of less in-depth versions of it, but yeah. It's a lot of work, but character build dependent, starting zone slash tutorials was neat. And that's exactly why they didn't do it. They were crunched with... They were crunched to hell and back for every other game, and they just didn't. Favorite race in StarCraft, only one right answer. StarCraft is not one of my... RTSs. I was mostly like Age of Empires 3 for RTS, and then other strategy would be like Civ 5. Lord Ryder, his voice rings from behind his golden mask like a freshly struck bell. Abase thyself, mortal, you stand before Lord Ryder, champion of the Black Trenches. First over the abyss at Manticore's fall, destroyer of the Treborian fleet. Give me a reason why I shouldn't render you unto carrion. You have 5 words to argue your case. We've no cause for quarrel. Bah, I suppose we don't. But I remember a time when a living thing wouldn't have dared come within 100 miles of our borders. Those were the days. Very well, what do you want from me? Are you still... I have questions about yourself. Be careful what you ask, mortal. CDPR's version is so lackluster. You mean for Cyberpunk? I think it worked. It worked for that game, but definitely definitely lackluster if you want something closer to Origins. And then, fuck you, Echo, idiot. StarCraft is so based on Protoss is the only right one. I mean, I just didn't play it. I'm not saying it's bad. The AO3 is pretty good, I'll give you that. Wait, favorite race in Warcraft. I repeat my my previous answer about the RTSs I've played. Who are you again? He turns his gaze slowly towards you. Somehow, despite the mask, you can feel it as hostile. Well, his helmet, I can see his face through it, so... You stand before Lord Ryder, champion of the Black Trenches. Oh no, I already asked this. What's your problem with the living? I don't have a problem. I have an appetite. Your warm flesh, your pulsing blood, your bright young eyes. Looking at you now, I want nothing more than to twist your head off and drain the life force from your shuddering, reeking meat. Does that answer your question? I suppose so. Does my hunger unnerve you, fleshling? Good. It should do. When was the last time you fed on a living person? I remember it well. It was those chaotic days when the Crusades were at an end, but the flesh farms were still struggling to meet demand. I and some of my fellow lords mounted an expedition to a nearby island and kidnapped a dozen fresh youths. I do not like the way you said that. Tender and sweet they were, and bursting with life. A final, glorious banquet. Don't you have flesh farms to supply you with the life force you need? Bah! Flesh farms provide a pallid, sickly energy. It's not a substitute for the real thing. It's been such a long time. You better make yourself scarce, fleshling. I'm beginning to get peckish. Is there not a shred of remorse for everything you've done? My life has been far, far longer than yours, fleshling. There were a few decades where I experimented with guilt. In the end, I decided it wasn't worthwhile. Okay, I think I get it. Though I suppose you have other... questions. Are you a follower of the ferrymen? Ha, no. Worshippers of the ferrymen are weak-willed fools who have forgotten that we are immortal. We conquered death long ago and have no need to fear it. The ferryman is sort of the god of the undead who is supposedly going to take them to final death rather than letting them remain as immortal. I want to ask you about the Endless. My undying comrades? Go ahead, then. Tell me about the ritual that first created the Endless. It was the Hooded King, the current Queen's father, who engineered our ascension. He was a strong king. He feared almost nothing in the world. But he was terrified of aging. He summoned hundreds of Wiccans, sorcerers, and Theurges from across the realms. Theurges from all across the realms, and tasked them with finding the secret to eternal life. They succeeded. Some of the other Endless seem to think they've been cursed, not blessed. For all that those hypocrites prattle on about the curse of our immortality, they still cling to it with both hands. Well, if the Endless, as the Ghost said, if the Endless are still alive when they're sort of torn apart, it's not like they have a choice in the matter. Yeah, CDPR made it work, but it would have been fine and less effort if they just made one background, because all I can think is, wow, this is worse than Origins. It makes comparisons that aren't in. I don't know. I disagree. I think, again, as far as like comparing it to Origins, viewed as a system comparable to Origins, Cyberpunk's version is not as good, but I think I didn't find the comparison like ruinous to me. Speaking of Star Wars and strategy games, the Star Wars XCOM Lite is apparently really good. Yeah, XCOM is a different kind of strategy game altogether. Although, speaking of Star Wars and strategy games, I did play a lot of Empire at War. That's the other one. Age of Empires 3, Civ 5, and Empire at War. I'm not hugely into the strategy genre, but those are the games that I played a lot of. But yeah, the XCOM Lite is apparently really good. I should check it out then. You're just a bunch of moldering skeletons clinging to the past. Let's see what happens if I just insult him. Can you blame us? What a glorious past! I will cling to it until my bones are dust. We are the Endless. We conquered death. Okay, I think I get it. I want to ask about someone specifically. I happen to be an excellent judge of character, but please keep it brief. What do you think of the Queen of Silver? She is the rightful monarch of the Endless, and, I suppose, she always will be. That is as much as I can say. I will not speak ill of her to an outsider. Come now, my lord, surely you can express your true feelings within your own home. Despite your painfully short lifespan, you do on this occasion speak wisely. Why should I tread lightly around our empty shell of a queen? She is a simpleton, weak-willed and weak-hearted. Her mind is addled by melancholy. In the good old days, my war council controlled her. These days, her puppet master has changed, but she remains a puppet. Are you saying she used to rule over the Endless? You must understand, the Endless were devoted to the Cadaver Crusades in those days, so the warriors held the power, and I was the greatest warrior of all. After I and a few other like-minded lords formed a war council, the Queen didn't even read the orders we asked her to sign. We had free reign. What happened to the war council? Most of them are dead now, killed fighting for their kingdom, and the few who linger have gone soft. They pretend they've forgotten how good it feels to crush the life from a mortal skull. Isn't it a good thing the Cadaver Crusades are over? Good for you and the rest of your kind? Yes, undoubtedly, but not good for us. The Endless were strong in those days, we were feared. Now we're just forgotten relics of the past. Okay, I think I get it. I should think so. The Queen's new puppet master, do you mean the Seneschal? Ha, don't make me laugh. That nervous little lapdog? No, thankfully our kingdom has not fallen quite so far as that. Pretty sure he means the person who is running the meat farm. What do you know about the Entombed One? He's stirring. Back in the old days, the ground would shake once every half-decade or so. Now it's every week. He's waking up, and I cannot wait for the tide of blood that will soon flow. Do you know who the Entombed One might be? It's the Hooded King, my liege. He's waking up because we have forgotten our hunger and we have become worthless and weak. Soon he will rise from his grave, sweep away the traitors in the Castle of Ribs, and take command of our kingdom once again. And I will be there to offer him my sword. Sorry to bother you. More questions. I'm not saying what CDPR did is bad, but it is a small part that doesn't really maintain relevance beyond dialogue checks where DAO feels like it connects the whole game and the PC's backstory. I think... Which Cyberpunk Origin did you play, Knight? Because I think that the connection that playing as a nomad has to the Aldecaldos is pretty meaningful, but I can see that being a lot less of the case for Corpo or is it Street Urchin is the name of the other one? Origins did a really clever thing where each origin is tied to a different section of the game, so each section gets uplifted when playing that origin. Yeah, that is... This means some origins are less equal than others, but none are empty or without merit. Yeah. Are you still loyal to the Hooded King? Of course I am. Before his untimely end, I was his right-hand man, and if he were to reappear tomorrow, I would kneel at his feet and offer him my sword without question. This is going to sound strange, but I need a sample of your blood. Lord Ryder considers you for a moment, then pulls a dagger from his belt and slices his palm open, without hesitation. This is for one of the king's tests of loyalty, I assume? Here you go, take as much as you need. If one of the king's loyalty gates still lingers, I am interested to see what lies beyond it. You collect as much of Lord Ryder's treacly black blood as you can. What, do you expect the king to return after all these years? Stranger things have happened, little fly. Nomad and some parts of Corpo are the only interesting origins. Well, since there are 3 origins, Alex, that sounds like half of them are interesting. Is that not the case? Like, functionally half, that is. The plot probably would have worked better if the character was always a Nomad or Corpo. I can see that. I did the Nomad, and while I do agree it is good, but it's not the extent of backstory should be in my eyes, and the others don't feel like that exactly. Well, you know. Fair enough. You know what you like. Oh. I don't know what that is. I'm saying 1.5 of them are interesting, so... Right, so yeah, 1.5 out of 3 is half. Yeah. Corpo kind of worked for some parts, but not so well for others. It is a personal thing for me. I also agree that one origin being canon could have more done with it. Yeah, I mean, by that token, the exact same could be said of Dragon Age Origins, which is what they did for Dragon Age 2, but again, the way that Origins did it is done really well, so you wouldn't necessarily actually say that. Corpo is carried by having some explanation for the bad ending. Yeah, I figure each my understanding is like, you know, Corpo ending... Oh, wait, I didn't need to... Wrong way. My understanding is, like, each of the Origins has sort of a most fitting ending for it, with the Aldecaldos ending for the Nomad, Legend ending for Street Urchin, and then the Arasaka ending for Corpo. I'm tempted, you know, given all the themes of the Endless and their immortality and all that, I'm tempted to start singing "Who Wants to Live Forever" by Queen, but first of all, I'm not Freddie Mercury, unfortunately, and second of all, might get the stream copy claimed. Offer it the bottle of blood. The door lunges for your arm, but you manage to position the blood bottle underneath one fang instead. The door eagerly drinks until the bottle is empty. Satisfactory. You may pass. All hail the Hooded King. That's not the voice I gave it before. That looks extremely painful. I feel like fusing the Origins and Larian's whole playable party members could be really neat. That would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, thinking about, like, you know, Divinity Original Sin 2, the idea of, like, oh, you play an Origin as each of the Origin characters before you get captured and sent on the Merryweather, that would be awesome. Your party members are all the origins you didn't pick. That way all those plot ideas can be used. Yeah, well, I mean, Dragon Age Origins sort of is like, all the origins are canon, but Duncan is present for the one that you're at, right? Isn't that sort of how they do it? Hi there. 1 second, just grabbing some stuff. She floats above you, imperious, furious, bristling with disdain. She resembles the Queen of Silver, but aflame with inner light. Hello, mortal. I'll stay standing. She extends a hand, and her eyes flash and sparkle like fireworks. The chamber around you begins to shake so violently that you are forced to drop to your knees. Better. Now tell me, who is it who dares to trespass within my domain? I expected to find the Hooded King down here. My father? My fool of a father? You found him. She gestures dismissively at the pile of bones sitting forlornly in the middle of the floor. There lies the Hooded King, the man who sacrificed his daughter for immortality. You should have seen him squirm and weep. My kingdom rots. Soon I will destroy this entire island along with all of my subjects. Have a good one, Knight. Continue spreading the word of my video. Soon I will destroy this entire island along with all of my subjects. I will end this wretched curse and finally grant my subjects the eternal peace they crave. I have questions. Where's the Hooded King? He's right there. Yeah, okay. I have other questions. You're a ghost of the Queen of Silver, an echo of her trauma. I was bored when she walked herself into quicksilver and drowned at the bidding of her father. I'm her bitterness, her resentment, her rage. What if your subjects don't want to be killed? Only if you say BioWare is good. BioWare is good. And I've never said otherwise. I just also am critical of them sometimes, and also personally prefer Obsidian's games. But BioWare is good. They do. There are thousands of rotting men and women out there, ravaged by hunger and pain, huddled within mausoleums and waiting for death. They are calling for my mercy. I can hear them in my heart, begging to be freed from their suffering. You're the one causing all these earthquakes? Of course. Someone needs to give this kingdom a good shaking. I am weakening the island's foundations. Soon it will shatter. How is a ghost powerful enough to do all this? Anger has its own power, mortal, and my anger is endless. That's all I wanted to know. Wait. Let's see. How can I persuade you not to do this? You cannot. I am as inevitable as death itself. That's all I wanted to know. And I am glad of it. Critical all the time, and a Zelda Obsidian, you mean? Yeah, well, I'm critical with love. No, I mean, Mass Effect, especially, Mass Effect and Knights of the Old Republic 1 are extremely nostalgic for me. Definitely formative RPGs. It just so happens that what I like in RPGs happens to be something that BioWare moved away from over the years. It's all preference. Although there are some things that I do think... Well, whatever. There are some things that I think BioWare messed up with, but also there's some things Obsidian has messed up with, so, yeah. Let's see. Should be another thing. Okay. Oh. Okay. So I opened that from the inside. I didn't even need to do that. So be it. And Bioware Obsidian Pipeline is real, yeah? Certainly was the case for me. Alright, hold on. Do I have to talk to the... I think I have to talk to the Queen again. Yeah, the Queen of Silver will surely want to know about this. Two studios, both alike in dignity. I like that, Alex. If only they were located close together, because then we could say in fair, wherever they would be. Where we set our scene. As the Queen casts her gaze upon you, you are overcome with a wave of melancholy. Okay. The Entombed One is a ghost created by your sacrifice, Your Majesty. Yes, I know. You told me the Entombed One was your father. I was not lying. I see more of my father in that ghost than I see of myself. I mean, that's some Obi-Wan certain point of view type of bullshit right there. I last saw her 2 centuries ago when I took Penitent Thaw down there to become one of the Endless. Penitent knew about this too? She's the only other who knows. It was unavoidable, the only way that I could grant her request to become an Endless. Merge Bioware and Obsidian. I think if like 5 years ago, sure. What exactly is she? Isn't that just KOTOR 2? Yeah, maybe. Well, also BioWare, didn't BioWare do Neverwinter Nights, and then Obsidian did the sequel for that too? So, not the first time that's happened. What exactly is she? She is both spell and sacrifice. Partly a ghost and partly the lingering remnant of the spell that turned the whole kingdom into Endless. That's one reason why she is so powerful, and why I needed her help to turn Penitent into an Endless. But her power is growing, far beyond what she used to be capable of. I think she's being fueled by my subjects' growing faith in the ferryman. Their scripture tells them to look forward to death, and their prayers for their own self-annihilation are like fuel to the Entombed One's flame. She could escape easily if she wanted to, but she refuses to stop haunting my father's bones. How can I persuade her not to destroy the kingdom? I can think of one thing. The Queen places something in your palm, a topaz necklace. The gemstone is inscribed with a complex sigil. This was the necklace I wore during the ritual. Perhaps it will remind her that a queen's purpose, above all, is to serve the needs of her kingdom. This particular quest is very backtracky. Looks like my house renovations are done. Oh yeah, and here's the library. So I guess I have to do the upper floor to get the bed. That's unfortunate. Yeah, fusion name for Obsidian and BioWare, Obsware or Biosidian. I agree with Knight that Biosidian is better. Knight, if you want to stick around for another few minutes, you can vote in the next choice. She floats above you, imperious, furious, bristling with disdain. She resembles the Queen of Silver, but aflame within her light. See this necklace, Your Majesty? Do you remember why you sacrificed yourself in the first place? For a moment, the Entombed One stares at the topaz necklace with something like yearning on her face. Then her eyes harden. She grabs the necklace from you and crushes the topaz to dust between two fingers. Sacrifice. Ha! The Queen above thinks she can remind me of what it means to serve the kingdom. I am serving the kingdom, far better than she ever did while sitting depressed in her throne room. This kingdom is begging to be destroyed. Its people are miserable, and they call to me to bring their long lives to an end. You can't decide that on their behalf. The Entombed One turns to you, her skin blazing within her light. Please, mortal, consider my side of the argument. I know I ask a lot. I ask for the destruction of an entire kingdom. But no new souls have been born here for centuries. No children, no youths. The only great changes to the status quo have been spurred on by mortals. First penitent Thaw, and now you. The Endless themselves are tired and bored and rotten. They hide inside mausoleums and do nothing, pretending to be dead. They hunger for mortal flesh, and if the flesh farms failed, they would resume their crusades in an instant. They lack the courage to end themselves, but they yearn for it. Listen to my plea, mortal. Help me destroy this accursed kingdom. So, yeah, basically, are we like, don't destroy the kingdom, don't destroy the zombie kingdom, or, yeah, okay, go ahead, and I guess I'll help? Does that mean I get 2 votes? I guess so, Alex. I guess Knight has decided to sell his vote to you. I'm not sure where my All Gods, All Kings platform falls on this subject. Yeah, it's a bit of a different one. I mean, I guess arguably All Gods, All Kings might mean keep the kingdom alive, maybe. Platui, you say nope to destroying it, you mean? Oh, you say burn it down, okay. I think the ghost making jokes shows there is still hope. I must save the laughter. Well. I guess if you've got 2 votes and it's you versus Platui here, then it seems like the vote is to not destroy the land. I also, just to, I guess, put my thumb on the scale a little bit, I feel like since we know that the Endless can stay, like, alive even if they've been sort of dismembered or whatever, I don't know if destroying the kingdom actually would kill them for real. I think that, like, the intent behind the choice is that it would, but it seems to me like it might just turn them into sentient motes of dust, which is not better. So that's why I chose to save the land in my playthrough, which seems like we're doing that again. Oh. No, there is no hope. There is only failure and stagnation. Alright, hold on. I am wearing it, right? Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Well. There we go. Oh, really? And how do you know there is hope? Hello, Buttery Toast. This guy sounds like us describing farmed versus wild-caught salmon. I mean, wait till we get to the lab-grown meat, which we'll go to next. How could the hat fail as the hat never fails? Yeah, the hat doesn't fail. The hat failed because I wasn't wearing it. Is your desire to destroy this kingdom not born of love? You still care for your subjects. Oh, 25 minutes behind. Oh. So you're the So you were talking about Lord Ryder then, Toast? Of course, I would undo their suffering. But not all of them want this. You are condemning innocents to death. She considers this for a long time. Your words have a weight to them, mortal. The weight of the years is already immense. What does a few more matter? Perhaps things will get better. Before your eyes, the burning rage roiling just beneath the entombed one's skin starts to dwindle and dim. Leave me be. You've given me much to think about. Okay, yeah, so what are the factions here? Okay, Endless Royalists, loyal to the Queen of Silver. The Endless Royalists believe in honoring their monarch's intent. This includes feeding upon penitent Thaw's mindless meat in place of sentient flesh. Such a stance has helped repair relations with mortal factions. Versus the Endless Cadavers, a shadowy bunch loosely organized under Lord Ryder's command. They believe in returning to the dark days of the Cadaver Crusades, in which the Endless would invade neighboring islands and feast upon mortal flesh. This would, of course, be in stark defiance to the wishes of the Queen of Silver. So it's gonna really suck if these guys get invaded by the Clockwork King. Well, as we've heard, from the guy with the mine, Clockwork King can make use of some of their goods, so maybe the king... Hey, the king could always glitch again, since we did fix him rather than kill him. Let's see. Yeah, I think I need to renovate the upstairs for that. Where's the thing? Is it here? Here it is. Okay, great. And do I smell a political marriage in the making between the Queen of Silver and the Clockwork King? A depressed zombie lady versus a gigantic machine. The Clockwork King is vastly more powerful. The Entombed One has stopped her efforts to destroy the kingdom. Excellent work, mortal. I never thought I'd see the day. What persuaded her in the end? Hope for a better future. The Entombed One wanted to destroy the kingdom, yet she secretly held a kernel of hope. Remarkable. Hope feels so foreign to me. The Queen of Silver sighs, settling back into her throne. And so we buy another few years of our endless existence. Joy. I've spoken to the Entombed One. Oh, you did? Was I right? Is it the Hooded King? No, it's a ghost of the Queen's sacrifice. Really? I had no idea a ghost could be so powerful. Perhaps you should talk to Penitent Thaw about that. She'd know more. Did you at least persuade the Queen's ghost to stop causing earthquakes? Absolutely. Marvelous news. Well, in that case, we can consider this matter laid to rest, can't we? We sure can. Let's talk to Penitent Thaw. Let's talk to the lady who's been whoa. Almost fell to my death there. Let's talk to the lady who's been making the lab-grown zombie meat. There we go. Hello there. The rotted woman advances towards you, her robes trailing along the ground. Nearby is a floating cage inhabited by a twitching, gibbering corpse. The cage drifts closer to you, gaining momentum. Hang on, stand right there. Don't move a muscle. Could the Clockwork King make the undead more lifelike? That? Probably, Alex. That is probably within its purview, although I don't know if its magic extends beyond the Clockwork Kingdom, so there'd have to be sort of like a mass vacation to the Clockwork Kingdom. Also, I don't think the king could actually well, I don't know, maybe it could. I don't know if the king could materially alter us, because we're not its subjects, but maybe it could. What? The cage corpse opens its mouth and begins to sing a giddy melody. Your shadow lifts from the ground and wraps itself around your knees, bearing you down to the floor. The undead presumably have a lot of memories to harvest for sale. That's true, yeah. They would make a killing in the vision trade. Why have you come here? Are you an assassin, a thief, a rival mage seeking to steal my secrets? What did you do to me? My familiar has cast a spell to keep you from doing anything that you might regret. Now answer my questions. My name is Penitent Thaw. Some call me the greatest living mage in the Sky Realms. Personally, I'm not sure I'm truly alive, but the rest of it is right. So you'd better answer my questions carefully. Are you an assassin, a thief, a rival mage? I'm chasing someone from the Darkstar Company. Darkstar, eh? I take it you're after Vela Kalos. You know her? Only by reputation. Unlike the rest of the Endless, I actually make an effort to keep up with the affairs in the outside world. So why are you chasing the most dangerous mercenary in all the Sky Realms, exactly? I've been forced into it by the Inquisition. Interesting. They must be desperate indeed, trying to get a pawn like you to the end of the board. She makes a dismissive motion with her hand. As suddenly as they came, the shadows recede, leaving you free to stand up. Go on, but make it quick. I'm growing bored. So all along, you knew the identity of the Entombed One? I am a mage, mortal. I hoard secrets like a miser hoards gold. And do you know the fastest way to run out of secrets? To tell everybody about them. I heard it was the Entombed One who made you into an Endless. Yes, that's right. The Entombed One is the living remnants of the initial botched spell, mingled with a vengeful ghost. A particularly toxic combination. But useful for me. Since the spell had lingered, I was able to benefit from its full effects. We just need to shove the two islands together. We create a powerful new super faction to balance out those guys who had us imprisoned at the start. That would be interesting. I want to ask about something else. By the way, yeah, important to remember, or to recognize and remember, in this setting, it is entirely possible for a ghost to exist, but independently from the person it is a ghost of, because the Queen of Silver is still around, existing at the same time as the ghost of her. About those vats of flesh down there. The flesh farms, a fine invention if I do say so myself. You created the flesh farms? Oh yes, I've always been interested in transgressing the boundaries of the flesh. The Endless needed life force, you see, and they were getting it through the most barbaric means. First, they ate their fellow countrymen. Then, when they ran out of mortals, they started attacking other islands. Then I arrived, and I put a stop to all that. The magic was quite complex, so I won't go into it, but the flesh farms are non-sentient and provide enough life force for the Endless to gorge themselves sick, and all without hurting a single soul. That's all I wanted to know. Questions about you? We'll keep it brief, mortal. I'm a busy woman. What's that thing in the cage? This is my familiar, my ex-husband's soul. I turned him into an embodiment of, and amplifier for, all my spells and wards. If he ever escapes the cage, you better start running and not look back. Why do you turn your ex-husband into a familiar? I was married to my husband to secure an alliance for my family, and I never much liked him. A man whose brains were in his fists. Once upon a time I promised him that one day, when I was a powerful mage, I'd come back to our pathetic village and make a hell of my own devising, just for him. I made good on my promise. That's all I wanted to know. Wonder how Penitent Thaw and Henpecked Ho from Jade Empire would get along. I wonder if Vera, I assume you mean Vela, has a ghost somewhere. Interesting theory. Goodbye. Oh, I do have unspent illusions. So you're saying she's single? You know, I'm not sure, Alex. I'm not sure how she would classify that. Oh, no, she did say ex-husband, so yes, actually. There's the flesh farms. Everyone say hello. When he turns to you, you can see his eyes are obscured by 2 large golden coins. He lifts one of them and appraises you swiftly before dropping it back into place. Don't get many like yourself around here, lifelubber. Can't remember the last time I saw a person with their own nose. He taps his own hollowed-out nostrils. An earthworm squirms within. Can't say I'm enjoying having a nose right now. My flesh farm's got an honest musk to it. The smell of life in all its sweaty glory. At least that's what I've been told. Ain't got a nose myself, as established. Kinda looks like you do. Fell off, 170 years back, into a river, as I recall. Who are you? Name's Magotson. Used to be called something different back when I was a breather, of course. Forgotten what it was, exactly. During the wars, I didn't have a name at all. It was just a walking bag of hunger and spite. Then, 200 years ago, I became a flesh farmer, and suddenly I needed a name again. Magotson sprung to mind on account of all the wrigglers I got hatching in my skin. Why are you wearing those coins over your eyes? To pay the ferryman, of course, when my time comes. Do you have to deal with attacks by catacomb worms? When you say the final 2 words, Magotson twitches so violently that a gold coin falls from his eye. He snatches it back up hastily. Don't go saying their name too loudly, breather. My mate Reg says they can hear their name across 100 miles. They'll show up just to spite you. You say this was a flesh farm? Vital work, mate. It's vital work. Without the flesh farms, we'd be back in the bad old days, relying on life essence stolen from the living. All that is a relic of the past now. Is there anything about working on the flesh farms that you dislike? Well, most worshippers of the ferrymen have gone to live in the mausoleums now. I'd have joined them in a heartbeat, but my work here is too important. Shame, though. What do you actually do here? Most important bloody job in the whole bloody kingdom, not that you'd know it by the pay. I tend the flesh. It's all alive, you see, but mindless. I hose it down, connect the feeding tubes thrice a day, snip off weird growths, comb it for parasites. It's not glamorous work to be sure, but without it we'd be out there on our warships again, killing you living folk. And I've done enough killing in my time. Actually, I had other questions. Ask away, lifelubber. Think I get it. Goodbye, Magotson. See you around, breather. Let's say hello to the flesh farms. You are gazing upon a vast mass of heaving, quivering, pulsing flesh. It is utterly featureless, apart from the occasional callous, weeping sore, or stubby vestigial appendage. As you stare, you hear a voice in your head. You are like me. The voice fills your skull without bothering to pass through the intermittent air, a colossal, mind-fracturing sound like the explosion of a star. Who are you? You breathe, you sweat, you eat, sleep, excrete, correct? I suppose. What of it? You are like me, a living thing, unlike the dried-up husks who cannot hear me no matter how bitterly I scream. Are you referring to the Endless? Is that what you call them? Vicious little fleas. So I can hear you because I am alive? Correct. I speak in words of flesh and life. Your blood pumps my words from heart to mind. I am the way of all flesh. I have a simple question for you. What is the meaning of life? You were created by the Endless to serve as a source of life energy. I am their food? Sorry. You must stop them. I am a living, thinking entity. I cannot resign myself to serving as food. I'll talk to Magotson and see if we can find a solution here. How long have you been self-aware? Over 100 years. Although in the early days my thoughts were very simple and often illogical, I knew I didn't like pain and that was about it. I have been getting smarter every year. I imagine that soon my cerebral capabilities will be quite frightening. How are you speaking inside my head? Somewhere within this expanse of useless tissue floats a brain, or perhaps a network of brains, spread throughout my body. I have no doubt that this brain formed by mistake against the wishes of my creators, but it formed nevertheless, and it is a powerful organ. I have been observed in my ability to frighten small animals away by shouting my thoughts at them, but until now I have never had the chance to communicate with a living being who could actually understand my words. Goodbye. Come back soon. Without you, the silence is deafening. These guys in the Clockwork Kingdom feel like the fallout of strategy game factions. Explain, please. Did you know that your flesh farm has become self-aware? Ha, that's funny, mate. You're a riot. I'm serious. The flesh mass has been communicating to me telepathically. What, are you being serious? Of course. Yes, and it wants you to stop feeding on it. Ha! And what, did it sing you a song? Did it whisper sweet nothings in your ear? It's been self-aware for decades, but only the living can hear it. Listen, mate, this still sounds like a joke to me, but if you're serious, go talk to Penitent Thaw. She created the flesh farms in the first place. She's clever. She'll know what to do. Penitent Thaw is in her sanctum, just above us, up there. Thanks, Magusson. Go talk to Thaw, mate. So this is really... This very much is like Omelas trolley problem style of quest design here, because obviously that is now a sentient being, and if we stop feeding on it, or if we let the Endless stop feeding on it, then they'll start attacking. They'll resume their crusades, which would be bad on a huge scale. It is interesting to think about the synergy between this quest and also the last quest, because, like, to some extent, I think your choice in one can influence the other. Like, if we have the undead stop feeding on this, that means they'll resume their crusades. But if the ghost destroys the Endless Realm and all of the Endless themselves, then they won't resume their crusades. But then again, she would also destroy this thing, because he's also on the island, and it's also on the island, and it can't move. So, Machine Tech commies led by Giant Head, Undead Legion's hunger for flesh, like Fantasy Command & Conquer factions. That's fair, I can see that. About those vats of flesh down there. The flesh farms, a fine invention if I do say so myself. Do you know that the flesh farm is becoming self-aware? Interesting. Elaborate. It can only speak to the living, but... No. It can only speak to the living, but it can speak. What level of intelligence are we talking about here? Did it exhibit any unusual traits or particularly alien preferences? Only that it didn't want to be used as a food source. I suppose that makes sense. I wouldn't either. Listen, mortal, what you're saying should be impossible, but if you're telling the truth, we have a problem. If the flesh farms becoming sentient and don't want to be eaten, then, well, the Endless will no longer have a moral way to sustain themselves. It could mean a return to the bad old ways. Oh no. Oh yes. Before I came along and created the flesh farms, the Endless sustained themselves by waging bloody war on other islands and eating their enemies. It was called the Cadaver Crusades. Ever since they stopped, a few mad old bastards like Lord Ryder have been pushing for them to return. But why would anyone want to go back to that? Bloodlust, arrogance, power, take your pick. What should we do then? Most importantly, we need to kill the flesh farm that's developed sentience. It might be the only one. There are dozens of flesh farms in the kingdom, buried under the mausoleums, and we don't want this infection to spread to any more of them. But surely it has a right to life. It's a lump of inanimate flesh. We'd be doing it a favor. Wouldn't the flesh mass also starve or get consumed by worms if left without care? That probably. I guess in the flesh farm's ideal world, it would still be cared. I feel like this could be resolved by just giving the mass of flesh a talking buddy. Well, no, but it's painful to be eaten. That's, I think, part of the issue here. It's not just lonely. It doesn't want to be eaten. In addition, we need to ensure that Lord Ryder never hears about this. Have you told anyone else? Only Magotson. You fool. You need to go check on him at once. Go. Well, Magotson has disappeared. You notice traces of blood on the floor. This could be Lord Ryder's doing. You should visit his estate on the cliffs to the southwest of the sepulchre. Yeah, the quest markers tell you, like, the quest tells you to talk to Magotson, but I do wonder... It should be possible to skip over him, and maybe you can skip this whole thing. That was fast? Yes, very fast. Hi, Magotson. Magotson has clearly been tortured. It's been like a minute. It's been less than a minute. Broken ribs poke through desiccated flesh. His teeth are in splinters. A rusty hook still protrudes from his shoulder. Hello, mate. Magotson, what happened to you? Lord Ryder did this. He spits a yellowed tooth onto the ground at your feet. After you told me about the flesh farm being sentient, I thought it was pretty funny. Told some of my mates about it. They told their mates. Before you know it, Lord Ryder is visiting my farm. Smacks me around a bit, says we have much to discuss. All this just because you mentioned the flesh farm. Might be self-aware. Yeah. Lord Ryder's been looking for a flaw in the farms for years. His prayers are finally being answered. What is he doing now? Lord Ryder's going to investigate the rumors about the flesh farm, and if he can prove them to be true, he'll try to start up the old crusades again. He's around here somewhere. You have to stop him, mate. Damn undead Twitter. Yeah, I know. Like, all of this happened instantaneously. That is... I think, arguably, the game should have separated Penitent Thaw and Magotson spatially in order to make this make sense. Why did you torture poor Magotson? He came to me with some very interesting information. I had to know more, and I thought he was keeping secrets from me, but it seems he was just as ignorant as he claimed to be. What do you intend to do? I've already sent word to some old comrades in arms. Apparently, the flesh farm can only communicate with mortals, so we're going to hire a mortal who will prove that these rumors are true. After that, well, if all goes to plan, the Crusades will begin anew. The Endless will never follow you into another crusade. We'll see, mortal. Well, not good. Do you think Undead Twitter has been bought by a Nazi yet, or do you think Undead Twitter remains closer to real Twitter, to old Twitter? I feel like eating one mass is better than a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, this is trolley problem. About those vats of flesh down there. Lord Ryder knows that the flesh farm is sentient. Well, that's it then. I was hoping we wouldn't have to do this, but here you go. She hands you a bundle of strange orbs. These are phage spider eggs. Each of these things can skeletonize an entire village in a matter of hours. They'll destroy the flesh farm and leave no trace once they hatch. Just deposit the eggs on top of the flesh mass and leave as quickly as you can. Once they hatch, the spiders will devour the flesh in about 35 minutes. You expect me to annihilate a totally unique life form? For the good of the whole world, yes. If the Endless can't feed on flesh farms, we'll launch a second cadaver crusade. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but when we get hungry enough, Lord Ryder will start to sound very convincing. I think General What's-His-Face owns it. You mean General Ryder, Alex? The guy we just talked to? Is that who you mean? Because, yeah, maybe. Hello, Suze. I feel like I missed a lot of context about what Undead Twitter is. Yeah, basically. No, it's just because, in this quest... Yeah, yeah, exactly, Alex. It's a joke about how quickly info/a rumor has spread. So, Alex, sounds like your vote, which, I mean, yeah, makes sense, to kill this thing for the sake of preventing a massive second zombie apocalypse. This is a bit of a no-brainer choice, honestly, but it is a good tragedy, at least. I'm so glad you understand the severity of the issue. Now off with you. Oh, cool. I thought there was an actual end to Twitter for a moment. If only. Well, I mean, I guess my thinking is undead Twitter means that it is like the old one, which, I mean, was still Twitter, but eh. My position is, as always, burn it down. Well, so Platui, what does that mean in this case when you say burn it down? You mean allow the endless to burn it down, or burn it down as in destroy the flesh? Personally, I could see if we could free Willy the massive flesh. Unfortunately, that's not an option. Greetings again, and thank you for coming back. I was getting lonely. Your creator, Penitent Thaw, wants me to murder you. What? No, you're not going to do it, are you? I haven't made up my mind yet. Please have mercy. Why does she want me to die? The Endless could kill thousands of people if they're no longer able to feed on you. Please, I did not choose to be a thinking being. It was not a choice I made. It's just what I am. Well, I feel like the vote is to kill it. Don't tell the mass. I think it deserves... Well, first of all, too late, and I can't reload, because... I guess I could reload, but the last autosave was a while ago, I think. See, Alex, I feel like... Yeah, personally, I would try to see if we could free Willy the Massive Flesh, and then the only dialogue option that might potentially present that as a solution. No, don't tell it. But no, yeah, it's... I'm assuming the consensus is that we kill it. So it is a horrific way to go. Wait, what was that? What are you doing? No, please. As you walk away, you hear the eggs begin to hatch one by one. You hear a chittering noise and the sound of meat being gnawed by 1,000 mandibles. Quickly, though, all that is drowned out by a terrified shrieking that reverberates inside your skull, making you fall to your knees in agony. Clutch your head. After what feels like hours, the screaming dies down. All that is left is the skittering and clicking of the swarm. The way of all flesh is dead. You hurry away before the spiders seek fresh prey. Oh, you're back. You're back. Okay. I've dealt with this situation. So the flesh farm has been destroyed? Good. It is easily replaced. You've done well, mortal. Ryder will need proof to start this new crusade of his, and he shall find none. I suppose I can spare a few coins for your trouble. Take these and be gone. Undead healthcare is great. Undead healthcare is either extremely cheap or extremely expensive. I don't feel like there's no middle ground there. Because either it's like, oh, you don't need it because you don't feel anything and you're dead, or it's like, oh, you don't heal anymore, so you have to, like, just stitch things over and over and over and over again. How much did that pay? I didn't even pay attention. Probably should have, but, You alright? What you doing in there? Okay. Well, I'm actually gonna call it here. This is a shorter one, had to start a little bit later, and, but I feel like that's a decent stopping point. Once again, everybody, if you have not yet seen my Divinity Original Sin 2 video essay from Sunday, watch it, engagement with it, and spread it around as far and wide as you possibly can. I was looking in the analytics, because it shows you like if it's been posted on another website or whatever, because it's like traffic from, you know, other websites, and someone posted it on 4chan, and I'm like, oh no. I don't even want to see whatever people are saying about it on there. That's the first time I think I've seen that happen in the analytics, saying that it was on 4chan. Some of the others must be, but I just haven't paid attention to that. Anyway. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm not even gonna bother checking. Honestly, at least, I don't know, if someone posts my Deus Ex video on 4chan, I know for a fact I'm gonna get hate brigaded for it, just because I mention the anti-Semitism and like that's in general conspiracy theory culture, and that's already gotten a bunch of freaks commenting on that video. So, if that one ends up on 4chan, I would just get an onslaught of horrid shit, probably. Anyway. So spread my video far and wide, but maybe not to 4chan. Alright. Farewell. Remember, eat morally, everyone. If you're a zombie, don't kill people. Alright. Goodbye.